So you've heard Facebook advertising is the way forward, but you're probably wondering what is the best way to go about it. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the top things that you need to consider before you put a penny into Facebook advertising. First of all, I've got to clear some things up. Facebook advertising is the real deal. It really gets results, but only if you go about it the right way. Now, Facebook adverts do not cost a lot of money. You can start off with a low budget. You could put a £10, £15 advert on Facebook if you really wanted to and get some decent results as long as you're really creative. Now, obviously brands are putting hundreds of thousands into paid adverts, but you don't need that. And don't worry about putting your card details into Facebook and them just consistently taking money off you every time someone clicks on it. It doesn't work like that. You can set a limit that you're comfortable with. So don't be thinking that you need a massive budget or that they're gonna just continually take money from you, because it doesn't work like that. Okay, so let's look into some of the things that you need to consider before you put out a paid advert. The first thing I would say is download a piece of software called Power Editor. Power Editor works with a Chrome browser. The great thing about Power Editor is that it allows you to create multiple adverts and run them at the same time. Now, if you want to target someone within your local area that has 2 kids under the age of 5, happens to wear glasses, is unemployed, and enjoys sports and is into tech, Power Editor allows you to be as specific as you want and save that audience. You can go into so much detail with Power Editor. People just really don't get how specific Facebook and Power Editor allows you to go. Facebook has teamed up with some of the top data mining companies to collate all this data so that everyone that's on Facebook, they can just be as specific as possible when targeting them. So let's say you want to target people in your community that are passionate about coming out and getting involved. You can target them. If they're interested in certain community issues, that option is there. If you want to target mums that happen to be single, that have children under the age of 2, you can target them. If you want to target someone that, say, likes a certain page or a certain activity or has a certain behavior habit or anything like that, you can target them. You can make it as specific as you want. One of the things that I'm consistently asked is, do I need to go on a course to run Facebook paid adverts? The simple answer is no, you don't. You can literally learn. There's going to be videos available. There's going to be YouTube videos available, different videos available that basically talk you through the right way to do it. And to be honest, a lot of it is trial and error. That's the truth. The first bit of it is understanding your market and your audience enough to know specifically who you want to target. Soon as you've gathered that intel, that information, then you can go to Power Editor and put in the information that you have already collected into the advert. Something may work, something may not work. It's literally trial and error. Like any content, you've got to see what works and what doesn't work. Whatever works, you do more of. Whatever doesn't work, you don't do. Start with the end in mind. So first of all, you've got to look at, what do you want to achieve from this advert? What do you want to happen as a result of somebody seeing your advert? Do you want sales? Do you want subscriptions? What's your call to action? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to turn up at an event? Do you want them to get involved with your community? What are you looking to achieve? You need to start with the end in mind. Now that is the bottom line, because if you don't start with that, then really you're just spraying and praying, which does not count and does not get you anywhere. Another thing to consider is Facebook only allows 20% text in a paid advert. So if you want to put out a poster or a leaflet or anything like that, and it has more than 20% text within that picture, Facebook won't run that advert. That's how it works. Now, the ways to get around this if you have an image is tell a story with your image. It's really good to use images to tell your story. What do you want to achieve? Another top tip is when you write your caption, your writing will lock off at a certain point and it will say, click to see more. Now, to grab people's attention and make them inquisitive and want to see more, you can make that cut off at a certain point. So let's say you're mid-sentence and it says, oh, you want to see what we've got in store? We've got, and then it ends and they have to click more to see. People are naturally inquisitive. So when they see this, they're going to want to see what it is that you're talking about. So always keep that in mind. How can you lure people in? How can you bring people in to want to see more? Don't disappoint. That is the key. Don't hype something up and it isn't really that big. Now, video adverts do the best on Facebook. It's just a matter of fact. They do the best. And with the autoplay feature that is on, and a lot of people don't turn off, that's why most of the time their data is getting took from them on a monthly basis and they're wondering where it's going. It's because automatically when they scroll down on Facebook, it starts rolling the advert instantly. Now, what you've got to consider is most people, when they scroll down, they're scrolling down to see different stuff on Facebook and they might stop on a video. Now, when they stop on that video, they don't necessarily click on it unless they see something that is intriguing. Now, before they click on that video, they're not going to hear no sound at all. So you need to consider, can I demonstrate what I need to get across in the first, say, 5 seconds to make people look at it and think, that looks interesting, let me click and see what's going on. Now, to do this, you need to consider, can your video get people interested with no sound? Because when they first start watching your video, most likely they're going to be watching it with no sound. Some people are quite content to watch a whole video with no sound at all. They may be in a situation where they can't have sound, so they need to watch it without sound. You need to consider these things. Another thing to consider is captions alongside your videos. Now, the same way with memes, you would have writing above and below a picture to give it that extra context to whoever's receiving it. You can do exactly the same thing with video. You can put writing above and below the video to give a bit more context so that when the person is scrolling down, they're automatically within 3 seconds making a judgment whether it's intriguing to them or not. If it does capture their attention, then automatically they're going to go and press on it and actually view the video. You'll be surprised the results that this will get. You could put out one video without a caption and one video with a caption and you would get totally different results just based on that. Now, this is another example of native content. You also need to consider the length of your video. 1 to 2 minutes is long enough. Sometimes you can make it shorter as long as you can tell a story or get across what you need to get across in that amount of time. To be honest, you can tell a story in 6 seconds. Vine is an example. People are telling stories on Vine in 6 seconds, filming in sequences. So often remember that. Don't think it has to be long and lengthy and a full documentary. Literally think, I need to grab their attention, tell them the information that I want to tell them, engage with them, and then attract them to do whatever the call of action is that you have. Now, the final thing you need to consider is, once you grab someone's attention and they do whatever it is that you want them to do, say they come back to your page, make sure there's content there that's a little bit deeper and more in-depth on whatever the topic is that you're talking about to engage with them. The last thing you want to happen is that they see an advert, like what you put out, and then go back to your page and there's nothing there for them. You got their attention, but now there's nothing else there to stimulate them. You need enough content on your page to give them a bit more value in whatever it is that you're doing. So make sure that wherever your space is on Facebook, you've got stuff going on that is relevant to the people that you're trying to reach. This is why I always say and stress, own your own land, because a website should be the most in-depth piece of information. Most of the time, people go from, say, a Facebook advert to your Facebook page and then to your website if you have one, or if you have a link to it on your Facebook page. So your website should be the most content-rich piece of land that you own. It should be more in-depth. It should give exclusive offers to people that subscribe to your emailing list. Stuff like that. You need to really make it rich soil. Now, it's that time of the show where I'll give a shout out to my sponsor, Agora Pulse, my choice for a social media management tool. Question of the day, what grabs your attention more? Images or videos on Facebook sponsored adverts? What type of videos, what type of images? Is it the experience that they give? Or is it something colourful or really engaging? Or is it the caption? What is it? Leave your comments below.